Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. It is so awesome to be back with you. Well, here we are. It's Tuesday. And you know what that means? Time for messages from the spirit world. That's right. We do this every Tuesday. And for those of you who are new here, every Tuesday I gather a bunch of letters. People send me and I do little psychic readings. So, by the way, if you're new here, welcome to Spirit Channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, be part of our scene. A lot of you have been writing to me saying, oh, I watch, but I don't have a channel. Set up a channel. Be part of Spirit Channel. We have a lot of fun here. Well, anyways, we're going to get into the letters here in just a few minutes, and, I'm looking forward to that. I always love Tuesdays. Messages from the spirit world, something that I've been doing since I first started YouTube. 11 years ago now. Oh my God. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Anyways, well, there you go. But it's really great to be here. And, for those of you who may not know, I am a full-time professional psychic medium. That's right. And if you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, you can give me a call, 703-825-3929. Private reading is you and me one-on-one for a full hour. And we'll cover everything, past, present, future, spirit guides, messages from deceased loved ones. Look at your life mission, why you're here, and I answer all your questions. So if you want to get on my schedule for a private session, give me a call. Or you can write to me, readings@robert-hickman.com. All these links will be in the info box below this video. So, I have to tell you, I get so many letters. I'm getting thousands of letters a month now. And I have to be honest, unfortunately, I can't personally always sit down and write to everybody. But please know that I do get all your letters. I offer up prayers for all of you every day. And, I do what I can. And if you've got an urgent, pressing issue, it may be worth your time to invest in a private session because I may or may not get to you for messages. But, we do what we can. And I want to thank you for your understanding and your patience. There's only one of me. There's thousands, over 10,000, almost 20,000 at least subscribers and more beyond that who are writing to me. And you guys are the best. Thank you. Well, we're going to see what the Spirit has. And, I always say, listen to all the letters because even if your letter doesn't get answered, Spirit might work through somebody else's letter to help you. And I've had a lot of people call and say, Bob, you were reading for Susie in Buffalo, New York, but I swear that letter was my letter. It sounds so much like me. Could that answer have been also for me? And the answer is absolutely yes. Because what you have to remember is that the Spirit guides us. Before I even start going through the mail, I ask the Spirit to be present and pull letters. And sometimes letters will just float up to the top of the pile. And I didn't even plan it. And so, that's how Spirit works. They're trying to reach as many people as they can. So, yes, listen to all the letters because you never know. You might get some special help for yourself, even if it wasn't your letter. Okay? Well, anyways, I'm glad you're here. Well, before we get into all this, let's all just take a moment. Let's just settle down. Let's just close our eyes for a moment. And let's attune to the spirit world. Okay, I hear my spirit guide Fletcher back here. He says hello. All right, our first letter today is from Lotus Night Rain, longtime viewer here. Hi, Lotus. Lotus writes and says, Dear Bob, can an unborn baby's energy attach to someone? Lotus, this is a really great question, and the answer in a nutshell is simply yes. The reason why that is that when a baby is coming into the earth, what you have to understand is that the parents make the body, but the soul comes from the spirit world. And so before birth, the soul many times hovers around the mother and the father, but it can also be attached to other people. And especially if there was a case, like for example, where maybe the pregnancy was terminated in some way, but the child doesn't want to let go there, it can hang around the mother or the father or other people as well. So yes, unborn babies' energy can attach to somebody. Now, you don't make it clear here if this is something that is happening before birth or after, like maybe a stillbirth or something. But the baby's energy, when the child's about to be born, it will be attached. It comes in and out of the body. Okay, so A lot of people say, you know, Bob, I'm worried my baby's not moving. The doctor said everything's fine, but it seems awful still. That's because the spirit moves in and out. Until actual birth, the spirit doesn't fully attach to the body. So the spirit is free to roam. And actually, a lot of times they get into the body, and they say, oh, it's a little cramped in here. So they move in and out. So, yeah, they can go visit people, be attached to people, yes. Now, if a baby has died, let's say there was a miscarriage or something like that, and the spirit is still attaching, then it could be considered maybe earthbound. So you want to kind of release that. But, you know, before birth, yeah, the babies can always be attached to people. So, like say, for example, that you have a sister who was pregnant, and you know your sister's going to have a little girl, and you might feel that little girl's spirit around you. You might say, oh, my niece came to visit me. Is that possible? She's not even born yet. And the answer is yes, it's absolutely possible. So, in a nutshell, can an unborn baby's energy be attached to someone? Yes. Okay. Thanks for writing. Good question. All right, our next letter, Yeti Heart 52. Hello, good to see you. Yeti Heart says, hi, Bob. Can you ask my guides about a space type of thing that I'm waiting for and how long that could take? You know, Yeti Heart, I have to tell you, I get a few different issues coming in here around you. The space thing, one of it is actually deals with physical space. And I feel like as we get to around April or May, there may come up an issue around a move. So there may be an issue around starting into a new physical space and space being available for a move. So I'd watch around April, May this year, okay? Now, I also have to tell you, I'm also picking up this energy. It's like a channeling energy around you. And I feel as if, like, literally there are star people in the space, literally in space calling to you. And I think you have the makings of a natural channel. So I feel like you are opening. I think that really this whole year, 2019 for you, is very much a year of being connected to the star people. So be open to some channeling experiences as well. So I'm picking this up already. I keep getting members of Ashtar Command around you. I don't know if you've done any work with them, but I feel like there are Pleiadians, particularly connected to Ashtar Command, that are also working with you to open doors of opportunity and doors of transition. So you're transitioning physically into a new location this year, and you're transitioning in sense of opening your channel to connect with space people. So, yeah, a lot of changes, a lot of blessing, but explore Ashtar Command, okay? Thanks for writing. Hope that helps. Blessings to you. All right. The next letter is from Crystal Al. Hello, Crystal Al. Good to see you, dear. She writes, always love your videos, Psychic Bob. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're here. She writes, are there any messages for me from the spirit world? Oh my gosh, Crystal, I got to tell you, first of all, well, you already know, but one of your totems is the owl. And I have a giant owl, literally, I'm picking up, so like got his wings open, he's over you. And this owl just says, tell her she's safe. And so you're being guided and protected. I'm also getting another voice here. There's a woman around you. And I get the name, it's a Celtic woman. She's dressed in kind of medieval Celtic clothes, like a sorceress or a witch. And the name I get around this, it sounds like it's Miriam or Marian, I would say Miriam. But she's around you, and she keeps saying, she said, yes, I'm opening the paths of magic. And so Miriam's asking me to tell you that they want you to come back to focusing on your craft. You're developing your magical skills. Particularly, she's talking to me about herbalism here. And I feel like this summer you're going to really learn a lot more about the magical arts, particularly connected to herbalism. Okay, so I'm getting both this Miriam and I'm getting the spirit of the owl around you. Okay, I hope that helps. Thanks for being here. Blessings to you. Oh, my allergies all of a sudden. My next letter is from Trish Jacobs. Hello, Trish. Trish writes, says, Dear Psychic Bob, back in 1981, my husband and I saw a full-on apparition. We were at a hotel, and it appeared to be a man who was a burn victim. We tried not to stare at him and make him feel self-conscious. Do you know if we actually did see a ghost? Who was he, and does he still need help to cross over? Wow, that's intense. Let me tell you, Trish, I do pick up that you and your husband did see an actual spirit. The reason I say it is that I can see him, and he's got kind of a gray cast, even though he looked like a solid person. Because see, a lot of earthbounds, they look as solid as you and I. Until you touch them, you wouldn't know. But even with some earthbounds, you can physically touch them. That's how dense their vibration is. But he has a very grayish, dark gray cast to him, which tells me he was an earthbound spirit. And I feel that he actually died at that hotel. Now, I don't think it was that hotel. I think it was a previous hotel. Like, I want to go back to like the 1940s, 1950s even. And I feel like he was someone who died in a previous building that was on that site. I don't pick him as being earthbound. I feel he's crossed over it. In fact, I think that honestly, him meeting with you and your husband kind of made him awake. It's kind of like he realized he was in a different time. And he was a little, I pick up he was a little stupefied because he was starting to realize, like, wait, these people are dressed different. Something's not right here. I think that actually the jarring experience of actually being able to see you and your husband kind of awoke him. He realized suddenly, oh my God, where am I? I feel that he crossed shortly after that. He had a lot of spirits around trying to get him to cross, but he was so dense in his vibration he couldn't pick it up. But I do think that he did cross shortly after your encounter. So, no, he's not stuck. I keep getting a name. You might want to research this name, find out if there was somebody in that area who died. But I get the name around it. It sounds like it's like the first name I'm going to call it like a Bill or William. And the last name I keep getting around this feels like a James or Jameson, 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 Jameson. William Jameson, possibly look at him around 1950s. Okay. Anyways, I hope that helps. But he's in the light. Thanks for writing. Blessings to you. All right. Our next letter is from Sherry Serenity Skies. Hello, Sherry Serenity Skies. She writes, Hi, Psychic Bob. I work during the day at a school, and I wonder how to use my spirituality to help with students' resistance and defiance. They are, after all, the next generation of adults. Am I on the right path? Could this job not be the right fit? Sherry, let me tell you, hon, first of all, I think you're very brave. I think anybody who goes into the school system these days, even private schools, are very brave. Let me tell you this. First of all, I want to address your question. Is this job the right fit? I do think it's the right fit, and I don't think it's coincidence that you're there. I think you were literally placed by spirit. You know, there's a lot of young people these days who are being raised with atheism as their belief system. Now, you know, in the past, if somebody was atheist, it just means they didn't believe. But see, what I'm talking about is not people who just simply don't believe. We're talking about people who have a militancy against spirituality. And there's a new kind of push in the education system that says, well, if you want to be intelligent, you have to renounce spirituality. And nothing could be further from the truth. And I believe you're there because of your high vibration. First of all, you're an old soul. And the challenges that you're having really come back to the whole issue of that you're up against a generation who have been indoctrinated, literally in atheism. And that's where the challenge is. Now, how can you help them? Well, first of all, let me tell you, in school systems, you cannot preach to people. I don't advocate people going in and preaching about God in schools. I don't think we should have that. You have to keep it secular. So you can't really preach. But if people ask directly about your belief, feel free to speak on that. If they ask. You know, I remember when I was in high school, I had a teacher who was a great spiritual influence on me. She was a drama teacher, and I've talked about her here before. Her name was Rusty Claus. And I'll never forget, I was probably like 14, 15 years old. And first week I met Rusty, I was in her class, a drama class. And she said, she came up and said on stage, she said, you know, I know all about y'all. I'd like you to get to know me as well. So she said, I'm going to let today you ask me any questions you want. And so she sat on the stage, and people asked her a question, how old are you? Now, somebody, you know, in the class was doing that to upset her, and she just casually said, well, I'm 52. Like, no big deal, like it was no big drama. People were amazed because they had instant respect, like she didn't get flustered. And somebody else pressed and said, oh, well, what's your religion? You know, really personal questions. And she looked right at us. She says, well, I'm a Unitarian Universalist. He says, well, what's that mean? She said, well, my religion, in a nutshell, is that there is a divine source from which all life comes. Everything that exists comes from that source. And it goes out into the cosmos. And in time, everything will return back to the source. And that source is the power of life and love and energy. And that's what I believe. In a nutshell, she surmised her religion and instantly gained credibility and points because she didn't hide it. She didn't say, well, I can't discuss that. It's not politically correct. Now, you have to remember, this is back in the early 1980s. People were less politically correct, but I still think today that is the appropriate way to handle it. And I think she was honest to her faith and true to her belief. Well, I'll tell you, not only did she make us respect her for her honesty, for some of us who were spiritually inclined, that gave us something to think about. Maybe there's a way to consider this reality. Maybe there is a source. So in a sense, she gave us a spiritual lesson, and she didn't preach to us or force her religion. She answered it honestly. And so I think with you, if people ask you, you know, do you believe in God or what's your belief, don't be afraid of that. You just answer and say, yes, I believe in this or that. One of the other things you can do in your classroom is I want you to think about planting silver columns of light. Like, let's say over in the far back right corner, you got little Johnny, who's always a troublemaker, okay? Well, before he gets to class today, I want you to visualize over his whole desk or that whole area, if there's a few of them that gather around him, put a giant column, see a beautiful glowing column of silver light. Just visualize it, hear its hum, and plant that column. This is called planting columns of light. And if you plant columns of light in troubled areas, the vibration affects the whole area. So little Johnny in the back corner, you put a column of light over his desk area. You don't have to tell anybody. In fact, don't tell anybody. You just do it. Make it between you and your higher power. That you have this understanding that you're calling for this assistance. And every day you fortify that by visualizing. And I'm going to tell you what will happen. Not only will little Johnny no longer be hostile, he may actually start to participate and interact more positively with the group around him and especially with you. And so these light columns are a really powerful mystical tool, and they work. So I'd like you to explore working with that. Think about your classroom. Think about where the trouble kids are, the trouble spots. And tonight, just start visualizing and planting columns of light. If you can't go into work early before anybody's in your classroom, and visualize. Sit there at your desk and visualize those light columns for me. And then watch how the week goes on. Just keep affirming that, rebuilding them. You may have to do it every day for a while, a few times a day. But eventually those columns will start to set and that energy will be present. And you know, it's interesting because you may have people come in your classroom, other teachers or even parents. They'll say, what is in your class? I feel so positive and happy in here. They can just feel it's because that's the high energy of the light working. So use the light. You don't have to preach. In fact, as I said, don't preach. If people ask you, tell them what you believe. But work with the light columns. I think that's going to help. I think if you were to quit your job now, honestly, I think you'd be letting down spirit because I believe that you are there for a mission. Now, I feel like probably in about 2 years you will do a transition to a different school. And in fact, I think ultimately you're going to work in a different teaching capacity, not so much public schools, but for the next 2 years you will. I see you in the future doing spiritual teaching, possibly even yoga. You might want to explore yoga. I see you like working on a yoga mat. I see you imparting spiritual wisdom through yoga to people. So that's an area you might want to think about exploring. Okay. Anyways, I hope that helps. Blessings to you. Let me know how it goes. Thanks for writing. Oh my gosh, guys, wow, time is flying here. We're coming to the next part of our program, which is something I added recently. It's called Spirit Shoutouts. Now, Spirit Shoutouts or when I receive a message for a subscriber. These are not necessarily people who have written letters. They may just be in my subscriber list. As I'm looking through, I go, oh, a message comes through for them. So I always keep a pen by me and I write them down. So I've got a few messages, spirit shout outs I want to give out to you guys. So listen up. You never know when you might get a spirit shout out. My first spirit shout out is for Jeffrey Richard. Hello, Jeffrey. By the way, Jeffrey, I got to tell you, I got a letter from you. Congratulations on getting your Reiki certification. You rock. Listen, I got a message for you. I had a number of voices come to me as I was reading your note, and you've got around you right now the Lords of the Seventh Ray, which is the violet ray. The Lords of the Seventh Ray are headed by the Count of Saint Germain, and he is around you as well as the other seven Lords of the Seventh Ray. There are many of them, probably like 30 or 40, but I'm getting right now a group of about 5 of them, particularly working with the Count of Saint Germain. So Count of Saint Germain is around you, and the other Lords of the Seventh Ray are Lords of the Violet Ray. And they keep telling me that you are definitely being empowered to channel healing energy. Okay, so you might want to explore Count of Saint Germain. Okay, he's around you. Anyways, hope that makes some sense. Thanks for being here. Blessings to you. All right, my next spirit shout out is for Stephanie Kroll. Hello, Stephanie. Listen, Stephanie, I got to tell you, when I saw your name, I picked up flashes of purple light all around you. You are actually opening your crown chakra right now, which is opening your channeling gifts. I keep getting a spirit guide around you named Kesha. Now, this is not the singer Kesha. This is actually just another spirit. It's a young lady named Kesha, and it looks like she died in the 1970s. She showed me disco clothing, but she's working around you now to help open your channel. She was interested when she was alive in psychic sciences, and unfortunately she died young, but she's with you to help you open your crown chakra, and she's around you. Her name is Kesha. All right. Blessings to you. Hope that makes some sense. Thanks for being here. And my next spirit shout out is for Vinny Blade 57. Hello, Vinny Blade. Listen, I got to tell you, bud, I want you to watch here. The month of June that's coming up this year is a time of transformation for you. There's a new light that's emerging from you, and I want you to know that because, you know, I know you've been going through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. But this year is a transformation year. And as we get to June, all this new light emerges. I also pick up there may actually be a physical move coming for you this summer. So it still feels like you're ready to do some sort of change in residence. And I tell you to be open to that as well, because it's like you need a new start. And I think with a physical change, there'll come a whole new energy cycle for you. And remember this, you know, it's always darkest before the dawn. So please keep faith, hope, and love in your heart. And, you know, make sure to stay here at Spiritual. Talk to all of us. Don't disappear on us, but keep me posted. But I tell you, June's going to be the transition point. But from now till June, you're in what we call the period of light. Light is growing, light is expanding, and you're not alone. Okay? I'm glad you're here. Blessings to you. Let me know what's going on. Okay? Oh my gosh, guys, well, I tell you, I don't know where the time goes. That's all I've got for messages today. But listen, keep it here at Spirit Channel. We always got more coming. If you get a chance, pop over to my website. Oops, I'm knocking everything over here. I've got wonderful books. I am a published author as well. You can get my books, Messages from Rose, about my work as a medium. Ouija Mirror Mysteries, about my work with the Ouija board. Psychic Bob's Book of Spells, want to learn some magic. Or how about Psychic Bob's Book of Wisdom? All of these and more available at my website, www.psychicbob.com. Link will be below to my website and my email and my phone number. So get in touch with me and call me for a reading, 703-825-3929. Visit me on the web, psychicbob.com. Look forward to seeing you guys. May all of you have a wonderful day. Thanks for being here. Listen, help me out. Like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends. Hit subscribe, be part of our channel. Be back here tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Wednesday, Wiccan Wednesday. We'll have some fun, mystical stuff. Be here. We'll see you then. I love you guys. Blessings to all of you. Until tomorrow, may you all always blessed be.